Muller, Communications Manager for the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority. And as we begin our program, I would kindly like to establish protocol by recognizing members of the audience. A special good morning to the Honorable Governor Albert Bryan Jr. We have a representative from Senator Marvin Blyden's office, Angel Boquez, our VIHFA Board Chair, Director Jennifer O'Neill, board members, J.P. Oriole and Maureen Burke-Ventura, VIHFA Executive Director Darrell Griffith, our CFO, Valdez Shelford, our Chief Disaster Recovery Officer, Dana Clendenin, Director of the Office of the Disaster Recovery, Adrian Williams-Octolin, Jackson Development Company's Bob Jackson, and partner Clifford Graham, Carl Weiss of Hunt Capital Partners, Jeff Biter of eFinity, Lutheran Social Services CEO Junia Stryker, and her board chair Carol Henneman, all VIHFA staff, Magens Junction residents, media partners, guests, and if I fail to mention you by name, please charge it to my head, not my heart, and you will be recognized. So we have a few changes to the program, so you'll have to follow me. But first, I will bring up our Chief Disaster Recovery Officer, Ms. Dana Clendenin. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol already being established. I do still want to say good morning, Governor Albert Bryan. I do want to say good morning, Chief of Staff. What a momentous occasion this is. Good morning to all joining us in person here today and those attending virtually. Together we are truly witnessing history in the making. I am Dana Clendenin, Chief Disaster Recovery Officer for the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority, and it is my distinct honor to welcome you to the official opening of Magens Junction Apartments Phase 2, a project that in no uncertain terms represents the deep commitment of our collective agencies to provide sustainable, resilient housing for our Virgin Islanders. Phase 2 is a 9-story building that houses 60 units funded by a combination of low-income housing tax credit as administered by VIHFA and CDBG-DR funding. At VIHFA, we remain committed to providing affordable housing. I get so excited when I see recovery dollars in action, transforming people's lives. I have to say I had the opportunity to tour this modern living facility, and I am quite captivated by the amenities it boasts. There's a fitness center, a library, a community room, communal spaces, and there'll be a play area, just somewhere you could truly call home. What's even more amazing is the careful attention paid to the sustainable details. This development is completely energy independent, powered by a microgrid that uses high efficiency, low emission generators, solar panels, and battery storage. Truly a step forward towards our future. If only I could move in. I would be remiss if I did not take this opportunity to recognize and thank, of course, Jackson Development Company for making this possible, but also the hardworking men and women of VIHFA, Mr. Griffith, and of course the team. But also I do want to publicly recognize Ms. Lisa Richards, Ms. Rosalind Estrell, and Ms. Valdez Shelford for all your work for making this possible. A few weeks ago, HUD's Deputy Secretary and Native Virgin Islander, Adrian Todman, also had the opportunity to tour this wonderful living space. And she too was genuinely impressed by what she saw, and was pretty pleased with the progress. I too share her sentiment. Thank you for being here, and again, thank you to all that has made this possible.
Okay. I will try not to do too much back and forth. So next we'll have our director, Griffith, to bring some remarks, followed by Clifford Graham of Jackson Development Company.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Governor Bryan. This is such a joyous occasion for me because I know the struggle and the path that it takes to get to this occasion where we first allocate tax credits and all the things that we have to do. So to see this beautiful 60 unit hurricane resistant affordable apartments is such a pleasure. The VIHFA is the State Housing Territory Agency, and I'm Darrell Griffith, the Executive Director of the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority. The VIHFA was pleased to allocate $3.7 million of low-income housing tax credits to this phase of Magens Junction. Now, this tax credits generated $30.4 million in actual equity to finance this development. And in addition to the low-income housing tax credit, we also allocated over $3.9 million of community development block grant disaster recovery funds. So this beautiful building that you see in front of you is almost 100% financed by assets, by funds from the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority. So very happy to the team and also to Ms. Janine Hector. Thank you. And before I even continue, I want to say a special thank you to Ms. Janine Hector, who's our Federal Programs Director. She's the person who allocates the low-income housing tax credits for the VIHFA, and we're very proud of what has been accomplished. As you can see, this is a 31-bedroom and 32-bedroom apartments. The property now sets a standard for modern yet resilient construction with the entire structure constructed with cast-in-place concrete. All apartments feature a large balcony, ceramic tile floors, and ceiling fans. Amenities include a fitness center, like Ms. Clendenin said, the library, the community center, playground, and of course, the most important, green space. Magens Junction will also provide residents with stable, efficient, and cost-free effective electricity, which is 100% off the grid, as we mentioned, and that is so very important in the territory. Magens Junction, though, is more than a sleek, pretty building. As with Phase 1, which is right to our left-hand side, JDC has partnered with Lutheran Social Services on this phase, so 10% of the units will be targeted for persons with disabilities. As you may know, this is a great need for permanent supportive housing for persons with significant health or behavioral health challenges or functional impairments which require significant level of support in order to maintain a permanent housing. Now, none of this would be possible, though, without the vision, the foresight, and tenacity of the hardworking team at Jackson Development Company. JDC is headed by the dynamic team of Bob Jackson and Mr. Clifford Graham. Bob, no stranger to tax credit, he oversaw the development of Love and Land Apartments, Bellevue, Calabash Boom, and Grandview 2 before venturing out on his own. His first solo project is Anna's Hope Villas on St. Croix, is one of the most sought-after rental developments on the island. This project before you today is another excellent example of a successful project by Jackson Development. Mr. Clifford Graham is a former executive director of the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority, so it's like being home when I see him continuing to do great work for our community. The authority commends Jackson Development for its diligence and determination in completing construction of this building. And Clifford also made sure that we allocated all of the tax credits. As of last week as well, he was on the phone with us to make sure that we moved things along and got us to this finishing point. They faced adversities, construction delays due to foundation revisions, additional excavations, COVID-19 related supply chain interruptions, and they persevered and successfully completed this within 3 years. So that's a job well done. Thank you. 2 years. And lastly, I would just like to acknowledge the team at VIHFA who reviews every low-income housing tax credit application, every CDBG DR application. And in closing, on behalf of our board of directors who are here too as well, the management and staff of the VIHFA, congratulations to all parties involved in bringing the second phase of Magens Junction to fruition. Special accolades to those responsible for putting together this wonderful program together too as well. Thank you so much, everyone.
Good morning, all. Definitely, protocol has already been established, but I'd like to say a special good morning to the Governor, Governor Albert Bryan, and my Minister, Helen Malanu Monrose. Good morning. I am extremely delighted and honored to welcome each of you here today to mark the official opening of Magens Junction. I am Clifford Graham, a partner with Jackson Development, the developer of record for this record-setting building. Let me start by introducing the members of Jackson Development Company who are here with us today. Bob Jackson, in the back. Kyra Hansen, in the back as well. Property manager, Janique Smith, somewhere, probably working. Vernon Fagan, he's probably around somewhere, maintenance guy. And Paul Jackson in the back as well. Good morning. This landmark before you today marks the second phase of the Magens Junction development. This wonderful residential venture was developed by Jackson Development Company in conjunction with our non-profit partner, Lutheran Social Services. Ms. Julian John Stryker is here from Lutheran Social Services, so please stand to be recognized as our partner. Thank you. Magens Junction 2 joined the 48 units of Magens Junction 1 with 60 additional units within 30 one-bedrooms, 1 bath, and 30 two-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. This towering building with 9-story make it the tallest building in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Some of the features of this building are the solid reinforced concrete exterior walls with impact-resistant glass windows and doors. A fitness center, which I don't use yet, club room, library, computer lab, a trash chute on every floor so the residents don't have to come down to empty the garbage. You can put it straight in the chute. A whole building sprinkler system. And to power this all, it is all, and also phase 1 is an energy plant with solar panels on the roof of phase 1 and phase 2, and soon to be installed on the hillside behind us. Modern a battery storage racking system, 7 propane power microturbine generator, and a diesel backup generator. In addition, all of the hot water for the building will be generated from heat recovered from the microturbines, which will eliminate the need for electric water heaters in the unit. Mr. Jeff Bater from Efinity is here, so if you may just stand so people can see our energy partner that have really helped us to get to this day today and for keeping the power on. Thank you. Jeff, your outstanding knowledge, energy knowledge, and for helping us with all we do and other developments that we're doing. The funding to make all of this possible, as you heard, is from the low-income housing tax credit with $3.7 million and $3.9 in the CDBG DR funding. Both low-income housing tax credit and DR funding are funded through HFA, are the genesis to provide the $35 million in end funding to make this development possible. JDC would like to extend our appreciation to Executive Director Darryl Griffith, along with the entire team of the tax credit and DR sides of HFA for your continued commitment to the affordable housing program. Special recognition must go out to Ms. Janine Hector, who has really been the lead person in tax credit. Thank you, Janine, for all you do. However, once the credits are awarded, our tax credit investor, Hunt Capital Partners, represented here today by Carl Wise, and Carl, please stand so we can see who backed these development, was on board to make equity funding available for the 60-unit rental property. Carl, Jackson Development, would like to extend our gratitude to the Hunt family for all you do and continue to do to make viable housing development like this one possible in the Virgin Islands. A special thank you is also extended to Banco Popular for making the construction financing available to pay the local contractors for material and labor over the past 23 months. Popular is represented today by Cassandra Webster. I don't know if she made it yet, but she's supposed to be here today. And I want to thank the team of Banco Popular for all they have done. With financing in hand, it's time to highlight those that have helped put the brick and mortar part of this development together. First is the design team of Steve E. Hutchin, architect, along with Conley Wicker for the site and infrastructure work, ERS Engineering for the electrical and mechanical work, Total Engineering for the structural component. On the construction side is the dedicated and hardworking men and women of our general contractor, GEC LLC. Here representing GEC today are Bruce Lee. I see Trini next to him, and I don't see Darren, but other workers of GEC is here as well. Mr. John Wessel, the management partner of GEC, apologized for not being able to attend here today. But if I may borrow a quote from him, and I quote, John always say, "This building is built for Virgin Islanders by Virgin Islanders," end of quote. The following entities also play a part to make this building a reality: BioImpact Inc., Jacka Sierra, Frank Electric, and I see a representative from Frank here. Thank you, Frank. Blue Water Construction, Caribbean Protection System, Central Air, DB Marble and Tile, Cone Elevator, Reliable Fire Protection, Digital Protection, First Resort Painting, and I see a representative here from First Resort Painting as well. Paul Fierras, SK Collaborative, and as you heard earlier, Infinity Distributed Generation. To help us navigate all the paperwork and get the development moving are our legal firm and title company, Kellogg, Ferguson and Probin, and West Indian Title. And we are fortunate today to have Greg Ferguson with us from Kellogg. Ferguson, Greg, where are you? Oh. Thank you, Greg. Not only does this development hold the distinction for the tallest building in the Virgin Islands, but it would also have a silver level rating under the National Green Building Standard certification for energy efficiency. In addition, this construction project had, if I'm not mistaken, the largest concrete pour on St. Thomas, with over 1,016 cubic yards of concrete in one continuous pour that started around midnight and took just under 20 hours to complete. This was only possible through the commitment of heavy materials and their most talented drivers, where each driver had to do approximately 10 trips to complete that task. To build a building like this, you have to also have the regulatory agencies that have oversight and grant permits. I would like to give our appreciation to the hard-working relationship that we had with the various government entities such as DPNR, Virgin Island Fire Service, and the Department of Public Works for the role you played and the permit you granted. Thank you, Governor, for the leadership over these departments and for your steadfast commitment to the affordable housing program. I would also like to thank WAPA and VIA for their assistance. And although this property is entirely off the grid, WAPA had to work with us to relocate electrical lines that actually run through where the building is standing today. Now, if I may focus my attention on the affordable housing program, allow me for a moment to discuss the importance of the program in the territory, especially at a time when residents are turning their private apartments into shared economy rental and displacing badly needed rental facilities. Over the years, there were several individuals who have played a significant role in the affordable housing program. At the VIHFA, there were 7 executive directors that have contributed to the development of affordable housing. These executive directors, Earl B. Atley, Margie Kayabayo, Jose George, Claude Richards, yours truly, Clifford Graham, Adrian William Actolin, and now Executive Director Darrell Griffin. On top of that, we had on the legislature side great housing leaders like Celestino A. White and Senator Marvin Blyden that have over 28 years of oversight in the affordable housing program that facilitated development of hundreds of affordable housing units in the Virgin Islands. It's been known for years that Senator White and the former housing senator and czar, and now Marvin Blyden, who is following with that new distinction. To crystallize my point, the 7 executive directors from VIHFA and Senator White and Blyden are public sector housing czar during their respective era. However, when you consider housing czar on the private side, there's one person that comes to mind. This person have built more than half of the nearly 1,200 new low-income housing tax credit units built in the territory over the last 20 years. And if we consider development only in the St. Thomas-St. John district, that percentage goes up to 70%. This person, during that same period, his development history here in the Virgin Islands spans 2 companies, Reliance Housing Foundation and Jackson Development, and he's responsible for the development of over 680 units from Estate Bellevue and Calabash Boom and St. John, Anna's Hope and St. Croix, Loving Land Apartment Phase 1 and 2, Amalia Terrace, Altoona Apartments, Grandview Phase 1 and 2, Magens Junction 1, and now Magens Junction 2 on St. Thomas. And if that wasn't enough, let me also mention that he's still involved in the redevelopment of Tutu, Dunu, and other VIHA Housing Authority rebirth in the district. If you know this individual, you know that he's a person that prefers to be seen and not heard. So I had to take this opportunity to highlight the history of his contribution to the affordable housing program in the Virgin Islands because he will not tell his own story. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce someone I call the private sector housing czar, the management partner of Jackson Development Company, my friend, my mentor, Bob Jackson. Please rise so we can truly thank you for all you have done. Thank you. To the awesome residents of Magens Junction 1 and Magens Junction 2, we hope you love your new home, and we know you will help keep it as pristine as we have tried to make it for you. As I will close, I would like to depart from the printed agenda just for a moment to allow Carl Wise from Hunt Capital to say a few words. Without Hunt's commitment to the VI development, to the Virgin Islands, development like Magens Junction 1, Magens Junction 2, the Duduna development would not be possible. Carl?
Good morning, everyone. You know, it's a pleasure to be here. As Cliff said, I'm Carl Wise from Hunt Capital Partners. We provided the tax credit equity for Magens 1, Magens 2, and we also provided the tax credit equity for Anna's Hope over on St. Croix. I'll be brief. I'm thrilled to be here. I'll tell you a quick story. I had dinner last night with Jeff and Bob Jackson. And I noted that I had first seen this site in 2016. And I was asking Bob, I couldn't remember. I said, Bob, what had happened to this site? Was there a hurricane that hit? What happened? And Bob said, no hurricane, but it looked like it. And now I look at the site and I see these 2 outstanding developments. And I can tell you, I'm just very proud to have been a part of it. As I said, we've done these 2. We did Anna's Hope, and we just hope to do more. So thank you very much. Appreciate it, and Thank you.
I will welcome to the stage our board chair and director of the Office of Management and Budget, Ms. Jennifer O'Neill.
Good morning. Special good morning to Honorable Governor Albert Bryan Jr. and other board members here today with me. JP Oriole, please stand so everybody knows who JP is. And Maureen Burke Ventura. Protocol having been established, I am Jennifer O'Neill, Chairperson of the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority Board. On behalf of all our board members, I bring you greetings and thank you for your attendance today. It gives me immense pleasure to be here for the opening of Magens Junction Phase 2, a spacious, state-of-the-art 9-story residential building which will provide an additional 60 apartments to Virgin Islands residents. This project, like its predecessor, addresses one of the most critical gaps in our community, affordable housing. The Bryan Roach administration, led by the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority, is committed to increasing access to affordable homes for all Virgin Islanders through projects such as these. Partnerships with entities such as Jackson Development are a vital component in following through on that commitment. With subsidized funding provided through our Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery and Low-Income Housing Tax Credit programs, and the expertise and dedication of our private sector developers, we can continue our road to recovery, increase our resiliency, and create better opportunities for all Virgin Islanders. Magens Junction Phase 2 and many projects like this will not only shorten the gap in the long-term rental housing market that we've been experiencing, but will also create jobs and provide a stimulus to our local economy. Today, I applaud the hardworking staff of the Jackson Development Company and the VIHFA for all their hard work in bringing this major project to fruition, and to all who have made this possible. I look forward to seeing full occupancy of this amazing facility in the very near future. Thank you.
And deviating from the program once again, next I will have the representative from Senator Marvin Blyden's office, Angel Bocas, followed by Director Williams Octalin of the Office of Disaster Recovery. I had to think about that.
Good morning. Good morning, Governor Bryan. Good morning, all distinguished guests, honorable guests. My name is Angel Bolquez Jr. I'm here on behalf of Senator Marvin A. Blyden, Majority Leader of the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. Unfortunately, Senator Blyden could not make this endeavor as he already had prior engagements. He has asked that I relay a message on his behalf. Good morning, honored guests and members of the Virgin Islands community. I bring you greetings from the office of Senator Marvin A. Blyden, Majority Leader of the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. Today is a momentous occasion, and I thank the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority for bestowing upon me the honor of sharing remarks with you. American educator Dean Ornish once said, The need for connection and community is primal, as fundamental as the need for air, water, and food. The completion of phase 2 in Magens Junction will secure the fundamental need of housing for 60 families. We are not only celebrating the completion of a building, but we're also celebrating the beginning of connection and community between 60 families. We are standing at the site of new memories that are going to be made. Neighbors will become friends, children will become adults, and adults will age gracefully. The amenities offered in this 9-story building will cater to the many needs of its residents. I congratulate each and every resident in this space, and I wish them all prosperity. As I said at the opening of phase 1 in 2018, this day represents hope and pride. I must thank Jackson Development Company and Clifford Graham for their steadfast work on the building of Magens Junction. Now more than ever, affordable housing is a pressing matter in the territory, and the efforts to meet that need has been commended. I would be remiss if I did not also thank the Virgin Islands Housing Finance Authority and Darrell Griffith for the work that they have done to expand the public affordable housing portfolio. I look forward to working with each and every one of you to expand affordable housing throughout this territory. Senator Marvin A. Blyden.
Good morning. Oh, come on. Good morning. You know, good morning, Governor, my esteemed colleagues and friends. This morning, I looked at the weather and you should never do that because it said it was going to rain. It's like, how can it rain on the ribbon cutting? So the Lord smiled on us. And then I wasn't feeling, that excited. And then I drove down here and I saw this beautiful development. And I got excited. I got so excited and everything rushed back as to why we do this. Why? Why? So that we can house the people of the Virgin Islands. Very early back when Governor Bryan, we just started with the Office of Disaster Recovery, and we were looking at all of the priorities because that's the governor's job. Is to identify with all the myriad of projects and problems and issues, he has to identify what the priorities would be. And he called me, he said, Adrian, why are you supposed to give $3.9 million to Jackson Development? Because all he had was, we want to give $3.9 million to Jackson Development. And he is looking at, I need to provide housing, home ownership, and everything across the territory. Why do I need to give them this $3.9 million? And in my response to him, I paused and a rush of reasons came to my mind. And the obvious ones, of course, St. Thomas, high cost of rentals, the unavailability of housing, the numerous calls we get about people who are going to be evicted because they don't have housing. And then I thought about, well, affordable housing, it's needed, all of the very basic. And then I thought about, why would we give $3.9 million to this developer? And I said, Governor, I can give you a money-back guarantee that in 2 years, you'll be cutting the ribbon. Did I pay up? Because having partnerships is necessary. But having partnerships that are proven and tested is completely invaluable. And now as we see so many companies and contractors come into the territory, and they're saying, well, I can do this. But can you really do it? Do you understand what navigating through the processes in the Virgin Islands really mean? Do you understand the urgency by which we actually need to have these projects done? But I was so happy to see my former boss, Clifford Graham, give Bob Jackson the due respect here in the Virgin Islands for what he has done in affordable housing, and it was not easy. I didn't have any gray hairs. The first one came up when we were trying to do Anna's Hope. And no one wanted Anna's Hope in their backyard. And no one wanted to make sure that we were successful. But I don't think the Housing Finance Authority has gotten one single complaint about that beautiful development in Anna's Hope and St. Croix. And I believe with all the fiber in my body that the fact that this is the first development of this size that is built with the quality that Amali Terrace and Bellevue and all of the other developments that were done can be said that we will continue to create memories here and do what we said of housing the people in the Virgin Islands. So I want to congratulate the people of the Housing Finance Authority. You don't understand, and excuse me when I get a little excited, because I've watched them grow to the point where we can do this with Virgin Islanders. And GEC, tell John Wessel, send a message for him that he's supposed to be here, because this is the only time I get him in a suit. He's promised us all the way from Calabash Boom to here, but I just want to acknowledge the partnerships that have been established with Jackson Development, with GEC, for the quality product that we have in the Virgin Islands. And all of the people here that have done this so many times and learned all of the ropes to provide opportunity for the people of the Virgin Islands. We are committed to moving the recovery forward. And as Dana said, Clendenin said, she's excited because this was the signal that the recovery is on the move. And we want to continue to do so across the Virgin Islands when we get to not only break ground that we have in the past, but also to going all the way forward to cutting the ribbon. We spent some time with call them the recovery leaders, and it's a true thing. Iron sharpeneth iron. And I sat down with people like Commissioner Oriole and Sir Griffith and Ms. Clendenin to talk about how we're going to replicate this on every single project that we have in the Virgin Islands and rebuild this Virgin Islands, and not only build it back, but doing so in a resilient manner. So Housing Finance Authority, continue to unlock the doors to affordable housing as we continue to build a legacy of resilience. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Williams. Just wanted to mention, I'm in communications and I watch speeches all the time, and I just love when Director Williams speaks. She's just always so excited. Always so excited. I love it. I love it. I also want to mention, yesterday when we were setting up for this event, we ran into a resident. She was in a fitness center. She and her friend were working out, and she was like, "Oh, what you guys are doing?" So I asked her if she's coming to this today, and she said, "No, I have to work." So we just asked her how she felt about the building, and she was like, "Oh, this is home, this is peace." So we felt so good. We were like, "Hold up, I gotta get that on camera." I would need that quote, but she has a young daughter, And her apartment was damaged by the hurricanes, and her daughter's asthmatic, and she just loves, loves, loves the building, and it felt so genuine. So I just wanted to mention that. So lastly, I am excited to bring up our governor. So I would like you guys to welcome him up, Governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Mr. Albert Bryan Jr.
Good morning, Reverend Malo. How you say it? Maro? Maro's. Good morning to all the other dignitaries here. I'm excited too. The word of the day is up. The first thing I started to do is try to move the podium up. But they ain't got it plugged in today. You know, as every project that I go to has a theme song. I really love music. If you get into my iPod, you'll be amazed at all the stuff that I listen to, even country, Bach, everything. But the theme song for today is Moving On Up. Because I was looking for George and Wheezy when I reach. You did think yourself. We're moving on up. We there east? No, man, we there not. And we in St. Thomas, so we ain't there no way. We are here in the north. Oh, it's so exciting to see this come to fruition. That story that Adrian told is a real story. And this has so many stories. In fact, there's 9 stories here today. And so many more great stories that are accompanied with this project. And I saw Cliff the other day. Good morning, Bob Jackson. Good morning, Cliff. Clifford, Mr. Carl Rose is this. I'm giving everybody Rose today last name today. White. I go remember that. I saw Cliff and I was like, "Why y'all gonna build next?" And he was like, "Just tell me. Just let me know. We're ready. We're ready to build everything." I think that what we need to recognize here is that partnerships is what makes it work. People working together to make it happen. So, I remember Adrian calling me. I was like, we need to give that money out and make sure that we get this done. And we need to create more partnerships because the reality is none of us can do it alone. None of us. And when you think about the 9 stories, the 10th story is there's over 20 Virgin Island contractors that participated in making this happen. That's 20 corporations that are going to invest right back in the Virgin Islands. When you think about the emergence of housing finance leaders, you have Darrell Griffith is there now. Clifford was a senator. Adrian has moved on to Office of Disaster Recovery. And now Bob Jackson is not only intent on making sure that he puts his footprint solidly in the Virgin Islands by creating living spaces, but read it, open your program, look next to Cliff's name. You hear what he said there? What he say? Partner, not like partner, like man, you hanging out. Partner, legal. Making sure that he giving him a stake in the company. That is what I call real progress. The 11th story, when we look here today, this is a window to the future of what we're doing in the Virgin Islands. This isn't amazing? I had to talk to people in from Mahogany Run from changing the entrance to run up here because everybody want to buy these condos that they're building. It's part of the golf course. That's what it looks like, right? I mean, it looks like really high-priced housing. I mean, this stuff is going in Atlanta for $300,000 and $400,000 a pop for a 2-bedroom condo. And our people are getting workforce, affordable housing provided at the highest quality. The 12th story. The 12th story. The energy revolution in the Virgin Islands is real. We are getting off the grid, and in the coming months, we'll be announcing all kinds of new projects to help you get off the grid too. Because energy independence for each individual has to be part of our future in this here Virgin Islands, without a doubt. Y'all know I love Waffle right there to take my blows for them, but we gotta make sure that Virgin Islands have access to their own energy, just like they do to their own water and their own sewers. in the Virgin Islands. The 13th story here is that we are investing to build and bring people back. I was totally shocked when I saw that Virgin Islanders, it's only 87,000 of us. Weren't you shocked? Yes. The first thing was shocked, then the next thing was like, wow, our vaccination rate going through the roof. Because there, there's a lower there's a lower denominator. I was like, I knew something was wrong. We're up at 70%. That was the good news. And then I thought about all that we have lost or will lose in terms of funding that will be available for the Virgin Islanders. The good news is that we have enough funding to last us till 2030, when the next one will be. But during this time, it must be our quest to grow our population. And we can't grow it without housing. And not every Virgin Islander will be able to own a home. That's a pipe dream. But everyone will have living quality of life like we're seeing here today in this fabulous new development here at Magens Junction. Building a new generation of leadership, owners and business and entrepreneurs, generation of professionals and college-educated people is a strategic initiative of the Bryan Roach administration. And it goes everything from the workforce development things we're doing with the $10 million we have to put young people to work in trades and in marine sector and in computer engineering and cybersecurity, to the connectivity of making more and more funding available for home ownership and buying down the cost of houses, not only for those people who don't qualify in terms of the income levels, but for the people who just make a little bit more and need a little help getting a piece of this rock and the other two. It's about doing the things that will make sure that we create business opportunities for people to get into new sectors like the marine or fishing, wherever it is, making those opportunities available. It's about changing the perspective of our thinking and thinking up instead of across. Realize the 13 stories that this would have taken us at least 9-10 acres of additional property in order to put this many homes down. And now we can do it just by going up. It's the ability for us to look at our building codes and our engineering and our construction and think we can do things differently and still provide the housing. It's about taking a look at ourselves and say we deserve better. We deserve to live like the best of them. And if this is to be paradise, it has to be paradise for Virgin Islanders. We are constantly investing and reinvesting because it is my dream and the dream of Tregenza Roach that one day we will have enough people in our tax base that garner the type of income and that our median household income will move to 60 or 70,000. So Virgin Islanders will continue to empower Virgin Islanders in moving us forward in a perpetual motion. But first we got to believe. And Bob Jackson, the Housing Finance Authority, and all those 20 contractors made us a believer today because this is what we could do when we work together. I want to thank you for your patience and your support as we get this thing through. And I always tell Darrell Griffith, the CEO, I got this private sector thing about calling people by their first name, but it works. And either being they using the Lord name and being Jesus Christ, tell the people your story. There's so much good that is going on here with the Housing Finance Authority. There's so many programs that we're cranking out, so many things. Roads are being wrought through, rock and stone, so we could pave new ways for people to build homes. Rent money is being given away. They're helping WAPA buy new generators. At the same time, they're using their tax credits, and they're doing all of these things, and all the people focuses on and the negative they do. Today is an opportunity to tell your story and how you're working with the private sector and to learn that you need to take the money and partner with the private sector. Let them do the building. Let them do the headache. And you know what we're going to do, Darrell? Cut ribbon. That's right. So I want to thank everybody who was a part of this today and just ask for your support to the Housing Finance Authority, the board, all of the people in the private sector. Bob, I got about 10 more of these for you to build, okay? Just me and you going to talk, me and you. And Carl, because he got money. Thank you very much, people. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We come to the close of our program. I will bring back up the Reverend Morose to lead the benediction. And then we're going to cut ribbon. And then after that, we have some refreshments for you guys. And then we'll do a tour of the building.
Can I invite you to stand as you are able? Gracious God, we bless and praise you one more time as we give you thanks for this opportunity to be here sharing with your people and to be celebrating this milestone. Father, as we prepare to go, may we go into the world in peace. May we render to no one evil for evil, but in all things seek that which is good. And may grace, mercy, and peace from God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit abide with us all, now and forevermore. Amen. Bless you all.
All right, so I got to wrangle you folk. So we will be standing behind the ribbon here. Not all of us. Not all of us. And then following the ribbon cutting, we have some bubbly for you guys. Not champagne. So you can go in the building, grab a champagne flute for not champagne. And we have some sparkling cider for you guys while you grab your lunch. And then myself and Kandan, raise your hand. If you are interested in a tour of the building, after the ribbon cutting, we will take you on.
Carol, keep up in ribbon.